Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be your host for day number 5 of the New Narrative Virtual Workshop Series. Our official name is New Narrative for retired K-12 administrators and teachers who want to create impact and income on your own terms. We have created this 9-day virtual workshop so that you can continue with your normal routines. And if you're not able to make it at 12 noon every day, we ask that you would make some time in the afternoons to watch the recorded series. The series are out every evening after 6. Today's title is The Client Magnet Method, attracting the right educational institutions without the hustle. Because as educators, a lot of times we are a little shy of marketing, advertising, making ourselves the spotlight, even though we shine very, very brightly. I will continue to say that you are the answer to someone's challenge. The years, the decades that you have spent perfecting your expertise, your wisdom, and your experience is needed in the educational sector. We are doing all of this for 2 reasons. First of all, as a retiree, we want to honor you and the service that you have given to the young people, boys and girls, and to the adults who were charged to your care, so that in retirement you can continue to impact on your own terms while you are making time for yourself, for your health, for your relationships, to travel, to be at peace, but to do it the way that you want to do it. And the second part of that is that you can reach back and help to change the trajectory of the educational system for generations to come. Because without a doubt, we are the catalyst for change. Persons who've been in the trenches, who have been successful in different areas, you can share those successes with the educators who are still there, who are having challenges. And sometimes it's not that they aren't doing a good job, it's just the way that society is today, and helping them to make decisions that will uh, make the event more successful, more productive for everyone. They have to deal with so many situations, but having an experienced person there to listen to will give them the confidence to speak out, to speak up, but to handle it in a way that doesn't help to escalate the problem, but de-escalate the problem. So I am excited today because we're going to have a guest with us in a little bit. And this guest fits perfectly with what we're talking about today, just attracting educational institutions without the hustle, because she definitely has done that and has been very profitable and very successful in her business. But before she comes on, I want to talk about a couple of things that will help you to attract the right kinds of clients. And number one is build the business. Build the business. Write that down. Put it in the chat, someone. Build the business. Thank you. Thank you. You have to have the business before you can attract the right clients. Yep. Someone said, okay, that makes sense. Yes. Build the business. And number 2, share glimpses of success. Share glimpses of success. And let's talk about that for a second, because we may be shy of putting ourselves in the public spotlight or light, shining the spotlight down on us. share glimpses of success. Share glimpses. I see um, posts all the time, which just says, you know what? I was honored to be the speaker at this event. It was my pleasure to speak to this professional organization or to these youth. That's sharing a glimpse of success. They may share points that they talked about during that session, but not recorded the whole speech. Sharing glimpses of success, letting people know that you are out there, you are representing your business, you are in business. Share glimpses of success. Share a picture. If you don't want to do a video, take a photograph of you working with a group of teachers, you leading a professional development session. The picture, we've always said a picture's worth 1,000 words, just showing that you are actually in business and that you are definitely impacting lives. So, number one is build the business. Number two, share glimpses of success. And number three is provide exceptional service. Provide exceptional service, because when you provide exceptional service, the word travels, right? And you share the glimpses of success along with exceptional service, that eliminates the hustle. The hustle. When you are starting as a business owner, you have to develop a different mindset, a different mindset. And I use the word hustle. Not, I don't like the word hustle, but I used it because I thought that you would understand what I meant. Because right now, many stores are sharing glimpses of success of what Christmas could look like in our homes. They aren't really advertising that much on TV commercials yet, but some stores started in September and October. They just put out the stockings, they're putting out Santa's, nativity scenes, Christmas trees, wreaths. When you walk in, you see those things, and they are showing you, that will look really well in my house. They're showing you a glimpse of what it could look like in your homes, on your front porch, on your front door, but they aren't fully advertising yet. And when right after Thanksgiving, well, they do right after Thanksgiving, they go into what we might consider hustle mode, where there is much more advertising. At almost all commercials, someone singing jingle bells, the carolers are out, they are showing you the different decorations, and it's just more and more of the advertisement. So if you're not comfortable doing more and more advertisement, which equates to the hustle, just show glimpses of you working with others, of you and your business being successful. Show the name of your business, a simple picture taken of your logo, post it online. You don't have to say anything, just post your logo, put it there, and people are like, oh, they can see that with your name, with you, the CEO. You can change your email signature. Instead of just having your name, your email signature can be changed. You can make it clickable, where people can click to your Facebook page or click to another social media outlet which is connected to your business. And that is important. You don't want to send them to your personal pages that will not show a glimpse of your success. If you were spoke on a podcast, if you were the guest speaker at an event, you would want to click that or have that link to your signature, have that link to your email signature. And people can see that if you wrote a book, you can have a link to Amazon where they can buy your book. All of those are glimpses of success. And every time you send an email from that business email address or from your personal email address, and you have your professional name, title, contact information, it's automatic. You're not hustling. You're simply telling the truth, letting people know who you are, what you've done, and how they can contact you. And they can follow just from that. So, but the first part was build the business and make it legal. Build the business, make it legal. I mentioned yesterday that one of the bonuses that we offer to uh, our paid in full clients is that we will make their business legal for them. We will build out their branding packet. We will build out the branding packet, which looks like your name, your logo, your fonts, your colors with the hex codes, and filing all of your paperwork to get your EIN number, get your LLC going. We do all of that for you as a bonus. Now, if you do, we offer that service? Yes, we offer that service later on. That is done for you. But for people who want to jumpstart and don't want to get that, wait to get that done, we offer that as a bonus for you, taking the lead, making the first step, and deciding, hey, I'm ready. This is for me. I am not going to wait any longer. So we give you a gift. We give you a gift for doing that. And so when you come in, all of that is already set up for you. Now, if you are a person, we call that the fast action bonus or the fast decision making bonus. So yeah, putting branding yourself, putting your brand in front of people who may need you is one way of attracting your right audience, attracting your right audience. When we meet our guest in a few minutes, that was definitely one of the things that helped her to get some of her first clients was just updating her signature, her email signature. That was one of the things that helped her to update that. So, as we're saying, you can attract clients without the hustle, as we call it, without the hustle. When you're first starting and you're a little shy of putting yourself out there are ways for you to do that. And updating your email signature is definitely one where people can reach you and see glimpses of your success without you making a post. But if you just have that link on your email signature and they choose to go there, to a podcast, to your Instagram, to your LinkedIn, to anything where any site where you have been successful, they get a chance to see your book if you've written a book. But of course, again, the first thing that you'll do is build your business. Build your business. It has to live outside of your head. Remember, on yesterday, we talked about seeing it, right? You had to see the vision. You have to see it. And when you see it, you start believing it. You start believing in it. You start thinking about the dream. The dream. The dream is the vision. You start thinking about an abundance lifestyle. And then with the clock, you decide how long is it going to take? I'll decide Am I going to go fast track? Hey, I'm going to hit the ground running. I want to be one of the first to pay in full so that I can get my branding kit built out so that I can they can make my business legal, create your LLC, create your EIN number. We'll do all of that for you. But first, we have to change that mindset of being able to see ourselves as the CEO, see ourselves, believe it. So when we do that, then we take the leap. We're not afraid of failure. We're not afraid of what other people are going to say. We embrace the change to know that when I leave the classroom, when I leave the school, when I leave the district, I'm going to continue to make an impact. But this time, I'm going to do it on my own terms. I'm going to work only with the clients who I want to work with, which is a part of what we're talking about today. Attracting, we call it magnets, because you know what magnets do, right? They attract and stick together. So if you are an English teacher and you are approached by a principal, by a school district to help the math teachers, even though you could probably do that and talk to your colleagues who are mathematicians on your own terms, you decide, thank you. I'm honored that you thought about me. But did you realize I am a retired English language arts teacher, or I am world history? You decide, you don't, make it work. So you decide to put work out there, give them glimpses of success of you working with the English language arts teachers, or if you're working with the administrators, if you're working on a district level, if you're working with assistant principals, you decide that group who you want to work with. And when you give people a glimpse of your success, they will then reach out to you. You will be attracting the right audience. But when we don't, and we just say, I'm an educational consultant, I'm an educational consultant. And so people think that we're open for anything education from K through 12. So, no, we have to specify, just as, we have in the medical field, we have people who specialize in different um, work. When our children were small, we took them to a pediatrician. And as if there's something wrong with our heart, we'll go to a cardiologist. And that's the same thing with us. We have to decide where is our zone of genius. There are lots of things that we're exceptional at, but what is the one area that you will do and you can wake up in your sleep and keep doing it, right? It gives you joy. So when you build, so going back to number one, is building a business around your zone of genius. You decide, am I going to coach, mentor? Am I going to be a trainer? Am I going to be a consultant or a staffing strategist? And as we said, you may start coaching and going into mentoring or do training, but what are you going to build the foundation of your business on? Decide what area, and then what subject matter, what professional development, pedagogy you're going to use. What is it that you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? Again, we're going back to attracting the right kind of clients without the hustle, because when you decide who you are, who you want to serve, how you want to serve it, you put the business out there and show glimpses of success. And you don't want to, at first, just doing that hustle, doing so much marketing. So you start by building a business. Building the business. You will hustle if you don't build a business, and we'll kind of jump into whatever people want us to do. I heard you could do this. I know that you were excellent when you were in the classroom, when you were in the school system, you were in the district. I know you could do this. And they almost talk you into it. Man, you got it. Girl, you could do it. I know you can. Yes, but at what cost to you? Do we get back on that hamster wheel of making it work, being there for everybody? Or do we say, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for thinking about me. But at this time, this is where I am. This is what I'm building my business on. And and give it the time. I was reminded as soon as I said that, I said when I first left education, I really did not know what I wanted to do because I was dealing with so many different distractions in my life, health, and just thinking that I was burned out, but mainly it was from my health because I wasn't taking care of my health. And one thing that I decided to do was find out more about life insurance because when I was in the school system and the life insurance representatives would come, you all know how they would come after school and you had to sit through that during faculty meeting. And then they come back the next day and sign you up. I didn't really understand, you know, term, whole life, final expense. So I decided to become licensed and give it uh, 18 months definitely to learn. And during that time, I was contacted several times to take interim superintendent's positions, and they say, "Well, we just need you to sit in the seat, to be there as a listener, and support the staff as we are searching for a superintendent." And, we talked about the benefits, but I already, I had already made my mind up that I am on this journey to learn about life insurance and I am going to give it, I had my date in the month. It was October. Um, to learn it. So when I started at the lowest level, and then when I decided I wanted to build a team and become a manager, that is when I got several calls, and I was building a team and I taught people how to pass the life insurance examination. I taught people how to get in my car and I trained them knocking on the doors. And I wrote a book. I wrote a workbook on how to transition from an agent to a manager. I was sold out for that. However, you know, my heart was still in education and I would go back to it. But that's the mindset that we have to adopt. If we're going to decide, I want to attract the clients who need me, we have to be sold out in that area. So when we get contacted for things that are not in our wheelhouse, we have to respectfully decline, because when we accept more things on our plates than than we can eat, we either get over stuff or things start falling off like our health. So we don't want things to start falling off. We don't want to get in the grind. We don't want to become overwhelmed. We don't want to repeat what we had to when we were dealing with the politics and dealing with someone else supervising us within the school system. And at every level, you're supervised. At the superintendents, the school board, are you, they govern the whole district, but definitely at the superintendent's level. So every level, there's someone you're accountable to. But when you look at your own business, you've already decided, okay, in 12 months, I want to generate this income. Monthly, I want to generate this income. But the key thing, ladies and gentlemen, the key thing is that you decide the audience that you want to work with. You decide. After you've built your business, you decide who you want to work with, and then you show glimpses of success, showing them photographs or a little clip of what's going on. You don't have to do the hustle until you get ready for the hustle. And as I said, our guest today is a perfect example of just showing glimpses of success and deciding who she wanted to work with and who she wants to work with from day one. She had an idea, told me who her target audience is, or was going to be, and she kept marching to that beat. I am so proud of her now that she is having working her business in that way, and she'll tell you about her vision. She saw it. She really saw it. She saw herself doing it. She claimed the dream. She claimed the dream. She saw the vision, and she gave herself the time. She had two girls in school, and her time was when this daughter gets to blank, and I'll let her share that with you if she chooses to. She chose the time. Like, how long would it take her to be independently abundant, to receive independence abundance on her own term? And that's what it's all about. She stuck with K-12 educators, and I was so, ooh, it touched my heart so much. She shared a video for an event she had um, last month, I believe. Now, maybe last month in October. And the educators there cross all demographics lines, gender. It was just, you know, age, all educators, and they were all enjoying the event because she saw the vision. She saw herself doing it years ago, and she gave herself a time limit. She gave herself a time limit. So we're going to bring her on in about a minute or so. So before I bring her on, I want you to remember and put number one, how do you attract the right clients? Number one, you have to build the business. You have to build it. We can't attract them if we don't build the business and they don't know who we are, what we're about. And number two, share glimpses of success. Share glimpses of your success. Success is one transformation, because we're going to change the trajectory of the educational system one person at a time. One person at a time. So you don't have to look for a large, audience and look at what the gurus are doing. You remember I told you yesterday, some of us are impressed with popularity. Be impressed with results. Be impressed with structure. Be impressed with competence. We see the gurus because they're out there all the time. We've never experienced them, but we like them. We love them because we hear that name. We get excited. We hear that name. But be impressed with competence. Be impressed with structure. Be impressed with transformation. Be impressed with reality, not popularity. And so the last one was exceptional service. Exceptional service. Once you have built your business and then you're showing glimpses of success, continue to serve exceptionally. Continue to serve exceptionally. And we will come back to that at the end, but we're going to bring on our guest, who is Miss Coach Consultant. She can wear all those hats now. Coach, consultant, trainer, mentor, Chandra Joseph Bassett. I'm going to bring her on here. Okay, Coach Chandra, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and who you serve.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. My name is Chandra Joseph Lissette, and I am a veteran teacher and an educational consultant in the world of teacher wellness. And I serve K to 12 educators, and my focus is on holistic wellness for K to 12 educators.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I told them a little bit about, a little bit about your journey, and tell us a little bit about your journey. What were some of the great things that you encounter as you transitioned from an educator to an entrepreneur? And you may want to share that you started part-time and where you are now.
Sure. I think when I started my journey, I was um, looking for some help and relief for my fellow educators who were really struggling, and struggling in the same ways that I was, and I know that lots of other educators do, living from vacation to vacation, sometimes just weekend to weekend, just trying to get to the next break, um, carrying that bag back and forth, from school to work, not accomplishing half of the things that you wanted to accomplish, but always having so much work to do,
Mhm.
always feeling stressed out, and really believing this was just the way that it is. Like, this is just the way that it is between August and June, kind of deal. And I think that unfortunately, our profession actually teaches that. And that was exhausting me. And I had gotten to the point where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it anymore. And I actually just started going on retreats as a vacation, for myself, just to like get away and not have to focus on anything, but just kind of being still, being quiet. Um, and I realized how much of a relief it was. And I also realized that every educator doesn't have the same opportunity necessarily to be able to travel regularly, travel far. And so I wanted to really think about ways that I could have a variety of retreats that educators could access locally. Um, and if they choose, they could also travel globally. So there was a wide range of retreats that were in my head. I was thinking about half-day retreats and full-day retreats and weekend retreats and local retreats and residential and commuting, just all of these visions in my head, because what I wanted was to be able to provide some relief to teachers, and for teachers to have a place to be with other teachers, people who understood exactly what they were going through without having to explain anything, and just be held in a space that was dedicated just for them and just for their own holistic wellness. Times when they could just walk, they could journal, they could be in nature. Um, so just a variety of things were going on. And when I started, I was, teaching full time. And there was no way that I could not be teaching full time, right? I had two children, mortgage, and my kids were young at that time. My youngest is almost ready to graduate school. She's got a couple of more years, and my oldest graduated a little while ago. So I've been on this journey for a while. Um,
And that's
and
university, right? Graduate university.
correct, correct. Yeah. Um, and so when I started, I just started sharing my story with people, right? My journey and my struggle of not knowing if I was going to be able to continue to live my life and teach at the same time. Um, and lots of other people had the same story.
Mhm.
And when I had an opportunity, spoke to people in schools, I did workshops, PD, but my workshops and PD were around self-care. And it started off that small and started off, as a side hustle, as they say. But I also did other educational consulting endeavors. I also did coaching and mentoring. And I say that to say that when I began, I knew that I wanted to do retreats. Um, and I wanted to build an educational consulting business, but I wasn't really clear and sure on how I could do the retreat business. I knew I could do coaching and mentoring because it's what I knew and it was what I was good at it. And so I started in those areas, that would get me in front of people that I could then have conversations with about wellness and about self-care. Um, and that's where the journey began.
Mhm.
And the more I put myself out there, just physically and, through some social media posts, um, I decided that I wanted to start doing Wednesday wellness posts.
Let me
And that
stop you
was,
for a second
mm-hmm,
there. You that is awesome because the reason I want to stop you because I heard you sharing glimpses of success, like how you started out doing PDs, just talking about self care, wellness, self care,
mm-hmm,
and your Wellness Wednesday videos, and I believe that was during our partnership together. So talk a little bit about what once you knew that you had to make that connection for other educators because there were so many people who were feeling like you took a step too, which was an important step to partner with Change Narrative Coach University, which we may have been R&B strategic consultant at that time, to build out your business. Talk a little bit about that uh, journey, because I think that was before you started with the wellness and how
Mhm.
you felt about putting yourself out there and doing those videos and talk about that transition from educator to actually entrepreneur and putting yourself out there more in your partnership with Change Narrative Coach University.
Yeah, so for a long time, I had the idea in my head of what I wanted to do. And it was just that. They were ideas um, that were in my head and kind of written down. And but I didn't know how to do it. And I'm not even sure I thought it was possible. I'm pretty sure that I thought that this was just something that was going to stay in my head. It was a great idea. And then at a retreat, I had the benefit of being introduced to you and Change Narrative University. And I finally saw that it was possible because I met an educator who was also an entrepreneur. I didn't even know it was a thing. And so, working with you, I had the opportunity of really talking to you about my vision and starting off at my own pace. I needed to start off slowly. Some people maybe are right out the gate. That was not me at all. I was very skeptical. I didn't have a lot of time. I'm a planner, like lots of K to 12 educators are. And so I needed to be able to go slowly and manage what I could manage in the starting of the business. What I do know is that mentorship is key. Just like mentorship is key in the educational profession, right? For you to keep growing, it is absolutely, key to my journey from I wouldn't say moving from education because I'm still an educator, always will be.
Mm-hmm.
And but in order for me to move and shift my mindset to that of being an entrepreneur, in order for me to move from this idea I had in my head of creating retreats to being able to actually create a business that was able to do that, um, it couldn't have been done without mentorship and couldn't have been done without you, right? And it couldn't have been for me, it couldn't have been done without you because you held my hand every step of the way. And I needed that level of guidance. That was really important to me. I needed step-by-step guidance, hand holding, checking in. Sometimes I needed to step back, like this is going on right now, and I can't keep moving forward. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm good. I'm good right here. Um, and in those times, you would push when I needed to push, and also respected when there were times where it was just like, this is just not the time for me to do that. So it was a nice push and pull, which I think, good mentors do, right? You read the person that you're coaching, and you know when to kind of push and when to sit back. Um, and it has been that way every step of the way, right? So it began with the changing of the mindset, which was one thing, beginning to see the possibilities. And sometimes when I didn't hold the dream, you held the dream for me, right? You always reminded me, Chandra, you said you wanted to do retreats for teachers. Like, you're doing this other stuff, and that is great. It's bringing income in, it's laying the foundation, it's getting your name out there. People are seeing, your hard work and what you're capable of. Um, but you're not quite working in your zone of genius, right? You're not at the point where you are reaching for the things that feed you and you are super passionate about. And that was a retreat. I was absolutely working in my zone of competence, which is real comfortable and, I could do anytime. But it took a long time for me to feel comfortable and I think stable enough to be able to say, that's not the stuff that I want to do anymore. I really want to dedicate all my time and energy to retreats and to self-care. That was years journey, but I did get there through working with you. So I went from this, coaching, mentoring, kind of doing these 45-minute, self-care PDs, doing these videos every Wednesday, to being able to do a complete global retreat with teachers this summer, right? Thank you, which is fabulous. I mean, this year alone, I have held
Where was
three
that? Where
retreats
was that?
in
Yeah.
Guatemala, in Guatemala, in
Yeah.
Guatemala, international retreat, which
Oh,
I could
wow.
have
That
never
gives
thought.
chill bumps still. Oh my gosh.
That wasn't even part of the dream, right? Like that wasn't even something that I could see years ago. But the
Mm.
closer you get to doing the things that you want to do, the broader your mind becomes. Because once you see the possibilities, you're like, well, if I could
Save
do
that
this,
again. Save that again.
you know,
The closer you get to your dream, the what?
the closer you get to your dream, the broader your mindset becomes, right? Um, Once you can see the possibilities, you realize that it's limitless at that point,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can do this retreat, locally, then I can do another local retreat. If I can do a local retreat, why can't I do an international retreat, right? Um, and again, not something that I would have dreamed of 10 years ago, not even something that I would have really dreamed of 3 years ago. But I had to go through the process with you. And it is a process and a journey, right? In order to be able to build the foundation and then build on top of that foundation, right? To see my vision come to reality, and now I'm at the point where it's like, yeah, how many retreats do I want to do? And where do I want to do them? Um, and it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey.
I have to
And
interrupt you for a second because I
sure,
interrupted you earlier when you were saying you've done how many retreats thus far this year?
I mean, this year I think I said 3 retreats, but I'm now on my fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually now on my fourth retreat. Next month is another one coming up. So that'll
Mm-hmm.
be 4 retreats this year, all dedicated to educators who really needed the space and really appreciate the space.
Mm-hmm.
Their feedback tells me I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and still serving the K to 12 educational community, which is what I absolutely want to do, and tapped into a market that's just not there. Like
Mm-hmm.
we are not focused on the wellness of our educators.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't focus on the wellness of our educators, our system is in trouble.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be back tomorrow. But one thing that I want to make sure everyone gets is that you said you did it at your own pace, and you've done 3 retreats. Next month will be on your fourth. What is your status as far as your regular full time?
So last year, I actually moved to halftime status in the educational system so that I could actually dedicate more time to my own business. And doing that showed me that I had the capacity and the fiscal stability to actually be able to work on my business full time. And so this year, I actually decided that this was the time for me to retire from the educational system early, I might add. Something else I had not necessarily envisioned, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to leave early and work on my business full time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you see the vision of 6 figures, or have you realized that?
Oh yeah, six figures, absolutely. Like that's in the rearview mirror. We're moving forward to 7 figures.
Awesome, 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 awesome. And would you tell everyone how much you wanted to make when you first started this? What was your goal?
My goal was to get money for family vacations. Like that was my first goal. It's like if I could just get enough money that's going to pay for my family vacation so that it's not coming out of my salary, I'm good.
And I remember
I'm
the amount
good.
was $1,500.
I'm
Was
good.
extra $1,500. And now you talk to principals for You don't talk to principals for less than about half of that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and the reason I'm asking that is not, again, and I know that I have to tread lightly when we talk about income around educators, but I want people to understand that your wisdom, your knowledge is valued and it is respected. Because if they don't pay you as an educator, they're going to pay someone who really don't have the answers that you have. And tomorrow, I'm going to share something else that I think Chandra did was just out of the box amazing that only an educator would have thought of. Um, so Chandra, any parting words, and we'll do this again tomorrow though, but any parting words for the people who are listening, plus then we'll come back and tell them how they can contact you. Any parting words before we wrap up today? Well, you are a breath of fresh air, and I need to bring you back tomorrow. Yes, because I am committed to not holding people past one. Go ahead.
You know, what I will say is that if you're passionate about something, if you have a dream or what you believe is merely just a dream of something that you want to do it. Do
Mhm.
it. Figure out how to do it. Get help in figuring out how to do it. But most importantly, like follow your dream. Like your dreams don't shouldn't die when you're a kid, right? Like you have that dream, you have that passion. You have all this knowledge and expertise, right? Like you know it. Get with somebody, get with a mentor, um, get some help and follow your dream.
Mhm.
Follow your dreams.
Mhm. Yeah, awesome. And the thing too, as it relates to what we're saying today, is that because tomorrow we'll have another topic, which we're going to talk about success accelerator and how to maximize what's working and what's not. So we'll talk more about that and how you address some of those issues, Coach Chandra. But when we're talking about uh, attracting people without the hustle, Coach Chandra, has do you feel as though you had to hustle to get clients or people found you? Because I shared earlier about your email signature and about different things that you just showed glimpses of success and just shared what your goal was. Do you feel like you really had to hustle to get clients, even for an international retreat?
Yeah, no, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't believe in the hustle and I don't believe in grind mentality. I
Mm,
don't. I mean, that completely goes against self-care.
mm-hmm,
Um, and
mm-hmm,
I'm not buying into that at all. And what got me to where I am is doing what I wanted to do and letting people know about it. And I found that doors just kept opening. Like the more I did, the more doors just opened. That is, I know it sounds really hokey, but that is just a reality, right? As I was walking in my purpose, doing what I felt passionate about, other people heard about it, saw about it, told other people. And so there wasn't a hustle, there was connectivity and connection, right? And relationship. And that's how I've built my business, which is like, a key thing that educators do. Like we're all about relationships, right? And so I know how to do that. And that is what has really made my business successful, building those relationships, and walking in my purpose and doing what I love.
mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. Yes. And I love that about you. You know, just showing those glimpses of success, just as we'll talk more about your retreats and the one that we saw you shared with me on last week. But when you and I met, it was basically um, a glimpse of success. I was sitting in a room and someone asked, "What do you do?" And I shared, I help educators to build businesses that help other educators. And someone in that room knew Chandra's dream because she had told them what her dream was. And then she saw me as the connection to her friend. And she said, I have someone that you have to meet. You have to meet them. I never seen her before. She was from thousands of miles away, but we just happened to be at the same professional development session. Chandra wasn't there, and we made that connection through that friend because I opened my mouth to tell her what I was doing. Chandra had shared what she wanted to do. So that connection was made through there without the side hustle. So
Mhm.
basically, you have to see it and share it so that you can make connections without the hustle. And I want to make that clear because I think that stops a lot of educators from taking a lot of positions that don't serve our health and our souls well. And I said I was there too, but I did not know that there was a system out there that could help me to do the things that I wanted to do. Or there wasn't a person out there saying, get ready for retirement. You can build your business to transition to help others. I always knew that I wanted to help educators, but I didn't know how to do it. So I had to go to a lot of trainings and piecemeal it together. But what we offer now at Change Narrative Coach University is, and you still are welcome to have other mentors and coaches because that's healthy. But what we want you to do is to get the basics of your business up and going. Don't be I guess I hate to say fooled. Don't be misguided. Don't be misguided. What do you think about that, Chandra?
Yeah, I think it's important that people are clear in what they need. And I think there are lots of folks out there that are mass producing all sorts of stuff and masterminds and right and making all of these big promises. Um, I know that I needed something personalized,
Mhm.
right? It's like when you're sitting in a classroom and each individual student needs to get their needs met, right? I am not a sit in a big auditorium and just like taking all of this information. I needed a personalized mentor who's going to work for me and personalize a program of success. And that's what I got from you. And I would not have gotten that from other spaces. It's just not going to happen. Like, that's just not the way that they operate. You know, they do the big masterminds to pull you in, to get you in to buy something else, to get you in to buy something else, and to buy something else. And at the end, you may or may not have a business.
That's
And
right.
you know, like you may or may not. Who knows? But you
Uh-huh.
spent all this money and the glitz and the glam and all of the shiny things are happening and people are clapping and all this stuff is happening in those spaces, but there's no substance because you have not realized your dream.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that is so true. The glitz and the glamour and chasing after all of these shiny objects. What I found is that it's easier to chase after a shiny object than to slow down and do the work. And one thing for me that I've always seen in Coach Chandra is that even though it may have been a season to slow down, she never stopped. She never stopped. We have tracking um, strategies and techniques in place on a monthly basis, and she never stopped. She submitted her documentation. She continued to keep her business top of mind. Whether she was at a point to serve clients, she was working on it or submitting the information. And if we had a timeline to say track whatever, she did it. And she asked questions. She raised her hand. She asked questions, and she made not only the time, she made the commitment to invest the time at different levels. She made the commitment to invest the funds at different levels. And when she invested, you know, she was committed. She was committed and invested over time, over years, and just showed up, even for programs that she wasn't really enrolled in. She would show up as a support person for the others and will always be welcome. But the commitment of Chandra and getting to six figures. And as she said, on her way to seven figures is what kept her going. For me, from a mentor's point of view, I started, coaching and consulting and training, but I brought her on as the first guest to show you all that you can start small and you can expand. But when you see it, when you decide that you see it and you make the commitment, no doubt that it will happen. And Chandra, how do people connect with you if they want to learn about your educational retreats? Do you have a one specific way? I listen to podcasts and I listen to interviews a lot, and people will give like 5, 6 different places. Give us one that people could get to
Yeah.
you. If there was a principal listening, superintendent listening, or teachers, or someone who want to bring your retreats to their district, or just to talk with you about more about it, how would they contact
Yeah.
you?
The quickest and easiest way is to email me directly at cjlacette, LACET, @gmail.com. cjlacette, LACET, @gmail.com. That is
Okay.
the quickest and easiest way to get to me.
Okay. And tomorrow, Coach, when you come on, just put that in the chat, okay, too.
Okay.
All
Mhm.
right. And when we are doing the replay, I will put that make that as a connection. This will be up on YouTube. We put it in the Facebook group, New Narrative Facebook group. Thank you, Chandra.
You're
And
welcome.
and if you are, because we have some people who registered through LinkedIn, some people registered through direct email, and some people registered through Facebook direct messages. So what we try, if you're on Facebook, we really can't see you watching. And same thing with YouTube, but we put the recording out by 6:30, and I send it directly to, we distribute it 3 ways every day, through email, through LinkedIn. We put it in a group. And so anyone else who's personally directed us for it. So we're getting it out there. We are wrapping up day number 5. We're excited. We talked about the offer of working with us for 12 months in new narratives, and we're going to continue to talk about that on tomorrow. But I see that the clock is approaching that 1 o'clock time. And I want you to let me know what resonated with you today when you watched the video back through LinkedIn, email, or however you see it. Let me know what resonated with you. And if you have any questions that you'd like for Chandra to answer, maybe we can get her to answer some tomorrow, but she'll be back. Chandra, anything before we go?
Yep. Looking forward to coming back tomorrow.
All
Thank you.
right, good. Thank you, everyone. Um, we are glad that you're here, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Remember, our focus is letting everyone know who is approaching retirement and who have retired that you can create income and impact on your own terms beyond retirement. Take care, everyone. See you later.